Hey guys, I'm back with another car video here. This is my latest pickup. It's a 2000 Toyota Mark II. So it's been a little while since I made a video. The last car I got was at Supra, and that was not cheap. So I was a little hesitant to buy anything else, but this came up recently, and I thought it'd be an excellent upgrade for my Chaser. So this is a Mark II Tourer V. So this is a 1JZ GTE equipped car, compared to my Chaser, which was just a Chaser Tourer, which makes it a 1G FE, which is a really weaker motor. It's a 2-liter versus a 2.5 with a turbo. So this car is part of the same family. It's an X chassis. It's a JZX100. This is an auction grade 4 car, and it's painted in Toyota Super White 2, which is still used on modern Toyotas. It's actually a single stage white, and when I got the car it had a very dull finish, but I've spent some time polishing it and I think it's come out really nicely. I don't know if you can see the reflections off of it, but I think it came out really well. Never actually had a paint come back so nicely. I got a brand new badge for it too, which you can see there, to really help the look. So this car is a 4AT. It's not the R154, which makes it quite affordable in comparison. These cars are under $10,000 Canadian, whereas a standard one would have been probably upwards of $14,000 for something in this condition. So this car is kind of different too. It's got a keyless remote with trunk and door locks. So we can check out inside here. So I think this is at first I thought the Chasers were definitely better looking cars. I thought these looked a little older, and I still think they do look a little older with the styling on the headlights, but I think it's also a lot more Japanese looking, whereas I think the Chaser kind of comes off as a bit of a BMW. This, I think, looks a lot more JDM. So this car is pretty much all stock. That's the factory lip kit and arrow, but this is I think a TRD grill. It's really high quality. It feels really solid, and it fits perfectly. So I think that was possibly a dealer installed option. But the lip kit, the wheels are also custom. They came with the car. Oh, and there's also a Fujitsu exhaust installed, which I'm a big fan of. And I'll start the car up here for you so you can see. So the paintwork on this car is it's quite good now that I've polished it up and spent some time on it. And because this is a 2000 model year, all this interior is black. I mean, it's reflecting right now, but it's black like this wheel is. Whereas on the earlier model cars, kind of like the Zenki versus Kuki, this is like a dark blue. And this is also different. The Zenki cars have a stripe, which you can see in my Chaser video, but all of the Tourers have carbon fiber from the factory. This car is kind of cool too. It also came with CD, tape, and mini disc, which is a little different. And also the difference is these gauges, well, they look quite red in the video, but they're actually a little more pink looking. Pink or orange. Whereas on the earlier cars, it's more of a white to a green kind of a fade. I think the orange is a little cooler looking, but I think it's also a little older looking. But, you know. So, yeah, another thing too, I got these nice little metal kick plates. Interior is actually really nice in this car. When I got it, it had a bit of a smoke smell, but I've tried to get that out as best I can. It's coming out pretty good. Check out the motor here. So these cars use the hood struts, which is nice. I'm not sure what it sounds like in the video, but it's really smooth sounding in person here. Really easy to access filter right here. You can kind of just pop those and take a quick peek, which is handy. Yeah, it's super original. No modifications or anything really. The only performance modification would be those tires and the exhaust. Those are the fog lights up in the headlight there. Let me turn the headlights on so you can see. Those have been wired in as daytime running lights. So like the Chaser, these cars have the factory HID, which are height adjustable. And those fog lights are really swanky. These are cool too, these little things up here. These are factory original on Mark IIs, and I don't know if you can see, but they're green. And at night, you can definitely see a little better at night. And it's a fiber optic lead that runs out of those to, I think, the headlight housing. So that's kind of different. You have the exhaust here, it's pretty quiet. I think the Fujitsubos are some of the more quiet exhaust. And yeah, I mean, this car is a little different styling than the Chaser. I think it's really swanky looking back here. A couple people have commented saying it kind of looks like a Prelude. Which I guess I could see that. I've always liked those Preludes. I noticed too there's differences, like this body line here, it kind of fades away into like kind of nothing. Whereas on the Chaser it stays quite pronounced and it runs along the fenders. Whereas this is a flatter fender. But it has this very sharp crease that, you know, you can actually like, kind of hard to polish in there actually. And that runs the whole length of the car. And you can see on the doors here. And I think, I don't think that Chaser has that. This molding is different too, with having the chrome attached to the molding. I think it looks cool. Let me turn the turn signal on here so you can see. So these turn signals have a little wide angle spot there. So instead of having a fender mount one, you have that. There's actually kind of two. You have the one up in the top and also the one down low, which I think is really cool. These cars have the auto headlight feature too. Let me turn my headlights off here. And yeah, I mean, it's just this like body molding comes all the way around the car, keeps that chrome trim kind of going, which I think looks really sharp on the white. To be fair, I'm a huge fan of this white. Like it really came out quite nice. So I hope you can see that on the video, but I'm really happy with the way that paint came out, because it was super dull. It looked like a chalkboard almost. This car has a rear wiper too, which the Chaser does not, which I think is pretty different to see on a sedan. It's not very common. And that body kit too is just, I think, excellent. Like, I don't know why you would ever swap that out for anything else. Like, that's got just the right amount of JDM rice to it. You got that TRD plate frame to make it look really cool. And yeah, I mean, the wheels on this car are a little weak, I'll admit. But they do the job and they're still in pretty decent shape. They're eco tires though, so they're having a hard time coping with that 1J torque. But yeah, inside pretty much the same as the Chaser. You got your side airbags, you have a power lumbar, which is really nice. This is the bottom of the seat adjust, and you have the ratchet for the back. Dual front airbags. Oh yeah, being a kooky, it has the 3-spoke wheel instead of the classic 4-spoke. So this is a much sportier look. This is a little different too. The early cars have a little pocket there, whereas these ones have a little passenger airbag light. But other than that, pretty much the same. No flaws on the dash on this one. This one's quite nice inside and outside. Really good condition. The only real issue with it was a little bit of a cigarette smell when I got it, but that's pretty much gone now. And it's just a riot to drive. This car is fortunately equipped with the Torsen LSD, which my Chaser, of course, isn't, because the Chaser doesn't even have a turbo motor. But it's like my Supra. And this one isn't quite as aggressive as a Supra, but it does the job just fine. So let's go for a little drive here, why don't we?